All right, bro. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're gonna start from the beginning.
All right.
So, where you from?
I'm from New York City. I was born in Brooklyn, um, raised in Spanish Harlem.
Okay. Okay. When did you move to New Hampshire?
I moved to New Hampshire at the end of 2015. It
Okay.
was like December 15th, 2015.
That's what's up. Did you grow up? You grew up
Yep.
with both parents and shit? Both parents in the
Nah,
household?
my God.
Nah.
Nope. Just a single mother.
How was that? Like how was living like that?
Um, it had its ups and downs. I mean, my mom was a single parent, but she was a white woman. She adopted my
Oh,
brother and me.
so you're adopted?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So what made you want to go in the military?
Um, I tried the college thing. I went to a prep school for high school, and I played sports my whole life. Lacrosse, hockey were the sport. I played hockey since I was 4 years old,
Okay.
and but I quit my sophomore year of high school um, and played basketball instead. But lacrosse was my sport. That's what I got recruited to college for.
Mm,
And after not being able to go Division 1 because my grades weren't at the level that they needed to be allowed Division 1,
yeah.
I went to D3 and ended up flunking out of school. So I tried to do the military thing. That was my decision. It was right after 9/11. It was my sophomore year in high school. And so I knew I wanted to do the military at some point. I tried to do the college thing first though. But once I failed at that, I went into the military.
Uh, so what's the so you say you had a story
Yes,
that
sir.
about the military? All right,
Mhm.
whenever you're ready.
So basically, I went to 2000. It was June 2008, and I was just struggling out here,
Mhm.
and I was living in Brighton, Alston, um, homeless, but had two jobs, and so I decided to join the military, and I spoke with this recruiter, um, and signed and enlisted for 5 years, even though he advised that I enlist for 3. Um, so I enlisted for 5 years, signed up, and the first place I went was Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, for basic training. I decided to be a chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear weapons specialist as my job. Um, and what that entailed was protecting my guys and girls, depending on what unit I was going to go with, from any chemical or biological or nuclear um, or radiological threats. So if at the time we were in Iraq and Afghanistan, so they were making our enemy was making bombs that had improvised explosive devices, IEDs, and VBEDs, vehicle borne improvised explosive devices. And these bombs that they were making had the potential to have chemical warfare in them. And so, if when we raided a place, my job was to protect and be able to um, figure out whether any of the um, weapons that they had were potentially uh, being used to make chemical or biological weapons.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah, and after basic training, I was at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, like I said, and I was with MPs, military police. And from after I graduated basic training, I went down the road to for AIT, which
Mhm.
is your advanced individual training. That's your training for your job.
Mm-hmm.
And I very quickly learned that I didn't want to go to war with, these people. If I was
Yeah.
gonna be, getting shot at, I wanted people who cared, who gave a
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
But in basic training, bro, it was tough because these guys they didn't give a fuck, bro. It was scary.
Yeah.
And excuse my language.
No, you good, bro.
And so that made me nervous. So I was offered the opportunity in AIT to go to airborne school, which is jumping out of planes,
Yeah.
which was a requirement for the special operations unit that offered to have the qualification, go to the qualification course to become an Army Ranger.
Yeah.
And so I signed up for that with a good friend of mine, Olea, who had gone right through basic with, and we were the two to sign up. And we went to jump school together, or airborne school together, at Fort Benning, Georgia, after graduating AIT, the Advanced Individual Training. And he didn't make it through. He made it through jump school. He got his wings. It took me a little. I got held back because I had this major who I had on this night jump that we did. My I freaking went with the wind. They call it running with the wind, and I didn't pull the proper way, and so I went really fast into the ground and hard. And so what ended up happening is he was right behind me, and he told me, because I dazed myself. I hit my head on the ground hard, and it was just all out of sorts.
Yeah.
And he like kind of was he kind of yelled at me. He was like, well, not really yelled, but he was like, "Soldier, get up, let's get moving."
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends through all of it, and I had made friends with these Marines who were becoming Marine recon. And I was trying to become an Army Ranger, and these guys were trying to become Marine recons, which is like the special forces of the Marines. And I was becoming the special ops of the Army. And that's who I thought were giving me like just tough rads, they call it in the military. It's like this trying to give me a tough time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, fuck off. and not knowing that it was a major, a very high-ranking officer, who had said that. So he went to the higher ups at my airborne school, and he didn't want me to graduate with his class, so I got held back.
Wow.
And I graduated with the class right behind mine. So after graduating airborne school, I went through the Ranger Indoctrination program. It was RIP. And that was, at the time, it was a month-long indoctrination course. There was requirements. You had to do a certain ruck, which is like a hike with 60-pound backpack, rucksack.
Yeah.
You had to pass a water efficiency course, a swim test, pretty much. You had to a shooting requirement, qualifications. And the biggest, and it was all hell, bro. It just was a tough thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
The hardest though was land nav. And basically you and another ranger buddy had this map. You had a compass, you had a map, and you had to walk 20 miles out to this site, this land nav site. And after not sleeping and having to do push-ups and bring down our whole our whole like living thing where we were staying, our barracks. We had to bring down everything in our room the night before, um, set it up outside, and then lug all this stuff up. We were exhausted from the night before, and then we had to do this 20-mile hike out to this land nav site.
Yeah.
When we get to this land nav site, we get smoked out there, push-ups, flutter kicks, running, crazy. So anyway, we were really tired.
Yeah.
You know? And my ranger buddy that I got paired with, we were told never leave your ranger buddy. They instilled in us that it was very important to never leave your ranger buddy, no matter what. Now, after being told this, I tried to be the best ranger I could be and never leave my ranger buddy, despite the fact that he couldn't hack it. He didn't want to do the land nav that we were sent out to do. He was exhausted just like the rest of us were, and he wanted to rest. So what do I do? You know?
Yeah.
I tell him, I was like, no, we got to do this. Like, you know, we had at the time we had 3 points that we had found.
Yeah.
That I have found because he wasn't trying to do anything, you know. And I wanted to find them all 5, you know, but we had to get moving. We had to keep moving always. And he was tired, I was tired too. But we had to get it gone. We had to get moving, get it done. So he didn't want to do it. He was exhausted, he was tired, he kept complaining, and he wanted to rest. So there was this clearing that was in the land nav site that we were using, this huge thing in Fort Benning, this huge piece of land, and it had these markers with the coordinates on them, and like a number, you know. So it would be, for instance, this pole sticking out of the ground, right?
Yeah.
With this sign on it that said Alpha, which is A, and then it would have the coordinates. So it'd be in parentheses 0152, comma, you know, 0.3965, you know, comma, parentheses. And then so then you look down and you see, okay, yeah, this was point, you know, you mark down that point that you found and see if it was the point that you were going out to, that you were supposed to get, because they had them all over the place, you know. And there's one every like 15 miles or 10 miles or 5 miles. So they were all different like distances. So what my ranger buddy and me decided to do was go to the farthest one first, get that out of the way, and work our way back towards our camp where we were staying. And so he was exhausted, he didn't want to do it. So when we got to this clearing, he begged me to rest, you know. So finally, I gave in. I fucked up. That was my bad. I shouldn't have given in. I should have forced him to keep it moving. However, I understood too. So I let him rest. He ended up falling asleep, and another team walked up on our position, saw him sleeping, and so they decided to crash too. I was the only one awake at this time, pretty much watching over them, you know, and getting frustrated because I wanted to get these points found and head back to you know, the camp, get this done.
Yeah.
And these dudes were just sleeping, you know, and I looked foolish, you know, just being. I was 22 when I joined in 2008, and these were kids like 19 years old, like just out of high school and shit, you know. And like I understood, because it's tiring, but this is what they signed up to be. They signed up to be the best, you know. So will try to push them to be their best, and the best don't rest like that. You know what I mean? Like if this was a war, they wouldn't be out sleeping and shit like that. But
Yeah.
that didn't work, bro. They they didn't listen to nothing I was saying. They just wanted to sleep. Um, so they did, and I was up because I couldn't ever just leave my ranger buddy. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
So trying to be what I am, the best at what I was doing, I didn't leave him. So I was the only one freaking awake, watching over 3 other rangers sleeping.
Mm.
This is nighttime now, my guy, and it's like pitch black. We don't have the night vision goggles on. Out of this clearing, remember, like we were in this clearing,
Mm-hmm.
so it was all wooded. It was a swamp, like a swampy area. There's wild pigs out here. It was not an area that is nice. It's grimy. It's just the woods. It's nasty. It's
Mm-hmm.
tough. It's hard terrain. So I just wanted to get this done, head back and eat a meal, do whatever we were gonna do. I knew it wasn't gonna be easy. I knew we were gonna get smoked. So I just wanted to get this part done.
Yeah.
So anyway, this you out of nowhere, my guy, this team of soldiers just walks out of the woods. They have night vision goggles on. I look down at my chest. I have a red dot,
Wow.
like not just one, 5 or 6 red dots, all moving around on my chest, like oh,
Yeah.
I have 5 of them just focused
Yeah.
right on my kill zone.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm not on. I don't have body armor on. I don't have nothing on. The team, they walk out, and it's a ranger. It's a ranger unit, and they're practicing because it turned out to be Charlie company, and their team was working on moving in the woods.
Mm.
They walked right up on our position, and granted, they had already become rangers. They were already rangers. You know what I
Oh
mean?
wow. Yeah.
So they knew that we were going through RIP. They knew that we weren't rangers. They know that we were trying to become rangers.
Yeah.
You know.
So basically, it was testing you guys.
Yeah. And these were the people that, had we become ranger after the month and we graduated, this would be the ranger buddies that we would be with, that we would be going to war with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the team leader was this E6. He was the platoon leader of Charlie Company, but he was the team leader at the time of this movement that they were practicing. And when he walked up on me, he was more than pissed off. He grabbed me, picked me up, and asked me what the fuck I was doing. And I told him I was told never to leave my ranger buddies, and didn't know what to do when my ranger buddies, wanted to rest. He kicked the rest of them awake. So now there's 4. There's 2, me, my ranger buddy, and another team.
Mm-hmm.
And then another team had showed up out of nowhere. So there's 6 of us now that had gotten caught by this team that had moved up out of the woods on us. So we're all getting yelled at. It was bad, having this sergeant all up in your face, screaming at you. They are practicing, but this is life or death. They don't want to go to war. They don't want, these clowns ever with them in a serious situation.
Yeah.
They can't even stay awake for land nap. You know what I mean? Which I totally understand and get. But I didn't know it. Like, I was stuck. It was a catch-22 for me. I would have gotten in trouble. if I had left him and been like, I gotta go do what I need to do and bounce on him, because I would have left my ranger buddy, something that you're never supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I got in trouble for staying with him. You know what I mean? So I didn't know what to do.
It was wrong. It was you'll be in a bad situation regardless if you left them or if you stayed.
Yep. A rock and a hard place.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
You can't win either, no matter what way. So we ended up all getting recycled. Now, land nav is week 3 of a 4-week qualification course. Okay. After this, it was still hard. You still had, stuff that you had the shooting qualification, and you had to do like after the shooting, and you learn how to move in like the huts that they live in.
Are you guys? I'm sorry. So is all military trained to kill?
Yes. In basic training, we all learn. You all first are broken down. They have phases in basic training. It's the red phase, white phase, and then blue phase, or red, white, and blue. The red phase is the suckiest phase. That's when the drill sergeants are in your face. They scream at you. They throw your shit around. But the whole time, you all get taught. But it depends, and that's why I'm having a tough time describing, because some jobs your basic training is also part of your advanced individual training for certain MOSs. Infantry or 11 Bravo is the nomenclature for your job. Those are the infantry dudes, are like the young gung ho, let's go kill some motherfuckers type.
Yeah, yeah, energy crazy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That MOS though, their basic and AIT is together. It's mixed in one. So when they graduate, they've also graduated their AIT, and they just go straight to their unit or go to airborne school or something.
Okay.
My MOS, the chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear weapons specialist MOS, we went to basic and then we went to AIT. They were separated.
Which one's the red?
It's just that's the phase
okay.
of like, so red phase, you don't get any room. They are breaking you of civilianness. You're becoming a soldier. They do everything they can to break you of the habits of a civilian.
Okay.
So it's the most grueling, they break you down.
Yeah, explain what you go through during that red.
So during red phase, this is when the drill sergeant, this is the classic, you're doing push-ups for not having your bed perfectly made. You can't bounce a quarter off your bed. You have one crease, one corner loose, one kitty corner, as they call it, loose or not 45 degrees. Then your bed is going to be torn apart. If your locker isn't perfect with your ACUs closed perfectly aligned with 2 fingers in between each what are they called, hanger, what are those things that you hang up?
A hanger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They needed to have 2 fingers in between each, and they needed to be in specific order. Now your shirts and socks needed to be perfect. They had to be rolled 6 inches. Your shirts had to be rolled 6 inches, tucked. No creases. Your socks had to be I'll show you. I'll show you the socks. I don't have my shirts neatly made, but hold up. Let's see
You
if I
still
remember.
do it to this day?
To this day. Yep. It's just become habit.
Yeah.
This is an example of my socks.
Wow.
So they had to be. This is a better example.
Okay.
But you see how they are rolled and the smiley fit, the smiley type.
Yeah.
So they had to all be like that, and the shirts had to be perfectly aligned like that as well, and rolled. I still actually, damn, I still do it with everything. It had to be six like inches, but just everything had to be just neat, beyond, I don't know, beyond neat. And like I said, when you go into, oh, sorry. No, I was talking about military. When you have your hangers lined in the closet, you have to have two fingers, like I said earlier, separating each. So if it wasn't that way, then everything was getting thrown out. And because mine was perfect, they took all my stuff out of my locker, stuffed it in my military sweats that they give you, and they put it on the bed. When we came in from something, I thought somebody was laying on my bed. I was so mad. Yeah.
And that's if
But
you are good.
because mine was perfect. Mine was perfect.
So they fuck with your shit even if it's perfect.
Yep.
Wow.
It's just because, like, if it's perfect, they're gonna take it apart, and so you're gonna have to put it up.
Wow.
Perfectly. Yep.
Wow. So explain the blue.
So that was red. That's red phase. After white phase, you have a little more. You have a little more. They're not as in your face. You have a little more respect from the drill sergeants. Blue phase, the last phase, you have full respect. You are now a soldier. The civilian is no longer is you are becoming you are fully a soldier. So the drill sergeants talk to you as they would talk to any private.
Yeah.
Or whatever rank you are. If you go to college and you're a specialist, but you're E1 to E4, which is enlisted. It's an enlisted rank. I went in as an E1. But I was really, like I said, I would try to be the best soldier I could be. And I have, I gained a lot of respect from the drill sergeants. So they always just talked to me with respect.
Yeah.
Even in red face. Even when they were yelling at me, they would not yell at me like they would yell at other people who were ate up. Because even when I was getting yelled at, they knew that my shit was on point,
Yeah.
But blue phase is more respect, and they're getting you ready to go to your unit. So
basically you're moving state. You're moving to different state. Are you?
Sometimes other, like, I was in Missouri, so my AIT was there too. So other people, I went to basic with MPs. So they were OSED, which means that was like one of the jobs that their basic and AIT were together. That's they were that. So their basic and AIT were all one. So when they graduated basic, they had graduated AIT too.
Yeah.
But me, I still had a hell of a lot more training somewhere else. But it was still on Fort Leonard Wood base. But after graduating AIT, that's when I went to airborne school, and I told you about that. after graduating airborne school. Airborne school is at Fort Benning in Georgia.
Mm.
And that's where the Rangers were too, just up the road.
Yeah.
Right? The Rangers were in they were closed off. A special operations unit. We were in a brown fence. We had all the newest equipment, new guns, new military uniforms. Basically, we wore different body armor, lighter, um, less restrictive. It's just top of the line. You're
Yeah.
also with like it's all male unit, so there no female could be an Army Ranger.
Yeah. Yeah.
So until recently, I heard that that's changed now, which is weird. And actually, that Ranger school, no, so still nobody, females can't be special operations soldiers, but they can go through one of the hardest um, schools that the Army has to offer, which is our Ranger school.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference between a tabbed Ranger and what I was, an Army Ranger. It's confusing, but
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Have you? So a lot of like people that's in the military, they gain PTSD. Have you ever gained that?
My post-traumatic stress came from my childhood.
Explain
So
that.
okay. So I had it post-traumatic stress disorder, is when you have a lot of people have it due to how they grew up, the environment in which they live,
Mm-hmm.
gangs, shootings, having to see people, beat up, having to live either beating up people to live. You know what I'm saying? If you grew up in a tough area, then most likely you're gonna have post-traumatic stress disorder from what you've either been through or what you witnessed,
Mm-hmm.
what you've seen. And so where I grew up in Spanish Harlem, and at the time there was the crack epidemic was huge. There was gangs all around, and so my post-traumatic stress disorder, um, I had from my childhood, what I saw, what I witnessed, what I've been through growing up.
Can you tell me something that you like? Is there anything crazy have you seen during your childhood?
I saw somebody get curbed.
Well, like,
That's their um
with a mouth on the curve,
yeah, and kicked,
and they stomp it on their head.
stomped on their head. Yeah. Um,
How old
and
you? How old was you when you seen that?
I was I was young. I started playing violin in first grade. I was in first or second grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was bad.
Wow. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So, when did you when did you leave the military?
I got out of the military in 2008.
2008.
I'm sorry, 2010. I joined in 2008 and I got out in 2010.
And then did you move? So that's when you moved to New Hampshire?
I moved to Boston.
Oh, Boston.
So I was stationed in I got injured and I have no memory. 2009, right after I graduated the Ranger Induction Program, I decided to stay with 3rd Ranger Battalion. So I decided to stay in Georgia. After you graduate, you have a choice of what unit you want to go to, what Ranger Battalion you want to go to. So there is 4 Ranger battalions. There is 1st Ranger Battalion, which is in Savannah, Georgia. They're more loosely based Um, Savannah, the first battalion like idea is they're like the cowboys. They kind of are not as strict, more just gunslingers. You know what I mean? Um, Second Ranger Battalion is a little more strict. It's in Seattle, Washington. That's a lot of rain.
Yeah.
I'm not about that, so I didn't want to go there. And it was already out before I even became went through RIP. I was pretty much told that I was going to be in Third Ranger Battalion. So I picked Third Ranger Battalion because that's what
Yeah, he was told.
yeah. And so I was Third Ranger Battalion and Alpha Company, and headquarters platoon.
Mm.
And I was the NCOIC, or even though I was an I was in an NCO, I was an E2 by then. After graduating RIP and going through the airborne school, I became an E2, and ended up staying with Third Battalion. But right after we had graduated RIP, our guys were getting ready to go over. And I can say now, but this was all classified, and I wasn't allowed to talk about where we were going. But we were deploying to Afghanistan. So I had to fit my whole unit, even though I literally didn't know anybody.
This is in Boston, right?
Nah, this was in Georgia.
Oh, okay.
When I graduated the Ranger and Doctrine program and stayed in Third Ranger Battalion, and Alpha Company was the company that I went to. Our guys we were deploying. So my job, because I was an NCOIC, the chemical biological, I'll just call it CBurn.
Yeah.
The CBurn cage. My job was to fit everybody with a gas mask, a chemical mask, and we were all supposed to have those when we went to war, just in case there was any chemical threat or whatever. We could put it on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and our mob gear, which is the same thing. It's just what we wear.
Mm.
But so I fit everybody with their masks, and then they left. They deployed. The people who just graduated the Ranger Indoctrination program, we had to be trained, and then we met. Then we went over what they call the halfway bird. So they trained us up, and I'm not even gonna get involved discussing that. It's a whole. But we had to learn how to move, how Rangers move. We had to become very, very comfortable shooting, and even me. And I wasn't infantry, but I thought I was I thought I was an infantryman, by just the way that we trained. And then after that, we got one jump in. But it was like a celebratory jump out of the bird. It wasn't in any ACUs. We wore our PT uniform. So it was like, hey, it's like a fun,
Yeah.
So after that, we went over to Afghanistan. How we go over. So we deploy on our own planes and shit like that.
How was that? How's it feel to be in Afghanistan? Like,
I don't remember.
what? Like, you just don't remember, or you what?
When I got hurt. I got into supposedly I got into a car accident.
Just after the military, or
no? This was in the this was in 2009. I was still in the military.
Okay.
And this was at the same time that I was deployed. So I don't know. And that's what is messing with my memory. Like my memory, I was in a coma for 2.5 weeks. 2 weeks.
From a car accident?
Yes, supposedly.
That's
um,
after. So you got in a car accident when you got deployed to Afghanistan?
it was around the same time. They said that when I came home, I got into a car and was speeding around the airfield and got into a car accident. It wasn't when I was deployed. They say, well, we were home.
Oh,
Um, but um, yeah, I don't remember anything. Like I
they
don't.
sent you home after that?
No, I was in a coma and I woke up at Fort Benning, and then I was shipped to or flown to be closer to my family, to rehabilitate. So I was sent to New Jersey, West Orange, New Jersey. This place called Kessler, which is this hospital. After I was there, I went to a VA hospital in Tampa, and then I got in trouble there for getting caught with alcohol in my room. So I was sent back to my unit at Fort Benning.
Mm,
Um, After being at Fort Benning, I spoke to my chaplain, and I went from a Ranger battalion to a Wounded Soldier battalion, still at Fort Benning. And then, like this was recently after my brain injury. I wasn't like thinking clearly or you know doing the right thing, so I just wanted out of the military at that point.
mm,
So then I got out, requested to get out, and got out in 2010.
okay. That's when you moved to Boston?
That is when I was flown to Boston. Yep.
Oh, you have family out there?
In Boston, no.
So you just moved out there
Or
by yourself?
yep.
Wow.
I it was where I left. Um, I was where I was. I joined the military in Brighton. I left, flown from Boston to Missouri. Actually, not flown. I bus. We bussed. That was a long ass busing. But
Yeah.
after in Georgia, I decided I got flown back to Boston, and I stayed with a friend that I graduated high school with for a couple nights, and then I went to the veteran shelter in Boston,
Mm,
this VA shelter,
okay.
and
So no, go ahead. Go ahead.
then to be closer to the VA hospital, I moved. I went to a shelter in Jamaica Plain.
Okay. So what made you move to Manchester?
When I found out that my girlfriend at the time was pregnant with my child.
Yeah, tell me about that because you became homeless a couple times, right?
Mm-hmm. I was homeless when I first got out of the military. And came back to Boston. I was at the VA shelter in on Court Street in the middle of Boston for like 2 weeks, and then moved closer to the VA hospital. So I was in Jamaica Plain at the Shattuck, which is a shelter in Jamaica Plain. Um, After I went to a bunch of like psych wards and hospitals, and wound up.
Why'd you go to a psych ward?
I had a traumatic brain injury, um, so um, I suffered from mental problems,
Okay.
and so I was trying to get like medication and get help for the traumatic brain injury.
Okay. So you basically like just bring yourself in. type
Yeah,
shit. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't sleeping for a while, and I was smoking weed at the time, which was making me paranoid as shit. And people in the shelter, this one dude in the shelter was fucking with me, and like not not like I don't even think he was fucking with me, but I can't remember. But just like um I don't know. Like I just was uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I kept on going to these hospitals or whatever, looking for medication to sleep. So I needed help sleeping. I was on all these medications in the military, and then didn't have any other after my meds ran out, I didn't have nothing.
Mm.
So I was looking to get medication. And so I was going to these hospitals and these psych wards to get these psych medications that I needed for my brain injury, or so
Mhm.
I thought. Um, and then I wound up meeting some chick and moving into a place in Framingham together with her.
What happened with that?
She turned out to be crazy. uh, and um, I broke up with her. And so then I um, got into a place that was like a sober house. I
Yeah.
got into the sober house in Framingham, and then moved to Marlboro, Mass. Um, and got kicked out of the sober house in Marlboro, Mass for smoking weed. Um, and they became homeless again. And I was working two jobs in Marlboro, Mass. I was working at actually no, just one job. No, two jobs. I was working cleaning at Planet Fitness, and I was also working as a server in downtown Marlboro.
Mm.
Um, and working out every day. So I was, pretty good size.
Yeah.
Then I became homeless because I got kicked out of my sober house, and I moved in with a friend of a friend in uh, this place. I can't remember the name right now, but it was near Framingham, and Holliston. Holliston. And I moved into an apartment there. Um, and then from there, I got my own place because I was working a lot of hours at Dunkin' Donuts and making good money. And I got a place in Leominster, Mass, on my own. It was a one-bedroom apartment. Um, it was always my first one bedroom, uh, that's where I met the girl from Manchester, my child's mother.
Okay.
Um, and she called me up, um, telling me that she was pregnant because I think the only time that she came to see me was she came over, met me at my place, and we got it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she called me a couple weeks later telling me she was pregnant.
Wow.
Um,
So the first time that she got pregnant.
yeah, I mean, it was more than once that night. You
Okay.
know,
That's
it
right.
was yeah, it was a couple times,
Yeah, I feel you.
a couple times. Like I don't know, I think like two or three times before she left.
Okay.
So um,
Makes sense.
yeah, but that was the first time meeting her in person. And then she hit me up, and I didn't trust her, and I didn't know really what she was about.
Yeah.
And come to find out, I moved. I left my apartment in Leominster, I moved to Manchester. I had my license, but I didn't have a car. When I moved out here, I got a car. Um, was giving her half of my check, no matter where I worked. I started at working at Complete, and then got like a sales job at this place called not Complete, um, Clear Choice, Clear Choice Home Improvements,
Okay.
and I was making.
Oh, you muted yourself, bro. You muted. There you go. What happened?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You muted
Uh,
yourself.
So I was making $900, which is crazy. That's a lot of money in a
Oh
week.
yeah.
Um, and I was also delivering pizzas at night, and trying to support our family. And then I had kind of like this feeling that she was cheating on me and stuff. And when our son was born, I found out, um, like I didn't want to have any more kids with her. I just wanted to focus on our son because I didn't really trust her. She
Yeah.
kept pushing me to like marry her, and and
Wow.
yeah, and um, yeah. I ended up getting forced to leave the house because she claimed, her daughter claimed that I came into the room and touched her when she was sleeping, and that was something that um I feel like her mom had been setting up on me because I didn't want to have any more kids with her,
Wow.
um, and
Wow.
kept pushing. Yeah, so I went to jail out here for like 7 months, and um, yeah, it was fucked up, bro. A lot of fucked up shit, and I remember like my lawyer um didn't do he didn't defend me. You know what I'm saying? Like he just did the least that he could do. Um, so um, I ended up pleading guilty, just so I could get out of jail and go home. After 7 months, they offered me three different times. They would plead guilty, and um, you won't have to register as a sex offender. You just have to uh, you go to prison or whatever, something like that. They offered me like two or three different deals.
Yeah.
But I wasn't guilty or anywhere near guilty. And I actually, like a year before that this claim to happen, um, I told my friends that I felt like she was setting me up for something. And I
Yeah.
left her. I packed everything I had in my vehicle at the time and moved out of the house and went to live with them.
Hmm.
And um like my lawyer didn't call him or anything like that. Try to get proof of that. That I knew a year before that she was setting me up for something, you know.
No.
Um, so after seeing kind of like how the system was rigged to make me look bad and to kind of fuck me over,
So you just plead guilty.
I just pled guilty.
Yeah, because they would have tried to smoke your ass if you would
They
have
would have
tried to take
smoked. They would have
trial.
smoked me.
Yeah, they would have. Yeah.
And not only that, but then I would have to plead, register as a sex offender
Yeah.
the rest of my life. And I was like, nah, hell no. And so it was just time served. Um, and that was it. Literally, time served, go home. If I had pled. So
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do that. So my lawyer ain't about shit, and he's not gonna defend me.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have an
So
option.
tell me how was it living on the streets in Manchester?
It was tough. I mean, I was homeless. When I got out of jail, I went straight. Well, even before I went to jail, like when I left her a year before this happened, I packed up everything in my vehicle. I didn't I got a DUI right before.
Mhm.
So um I wasn't supposed to drive. I was supposed to just drive to work and that was it. But I
Okay.
was living in my car, you know,
Yeah.
and depressed about her because I knew that she was cheating on me, that she was setting me up for some shit, and that, you know, she didn't want me to have my son in my life. So I was all fucked up.
Mhm.
So I was staying with my boys, but it was hard, you know, living in the street out here. That's not what I was used to. That's not what I wanted. I was used to having a place of my own, you know. Um, when I went to the shelter, I lost a lot of clothes. I lost so all my stuff, like literally everything that I owned, I lost. I had stolen. Um, got into drugs, like started moving just to make a dollar, you know.
Well,
And
can you tell me? You don't have to tell me, but what was it like? What was your choice of drug?
well, I went from just smoking weed to moving hard, and I didn't do hard. Then I met this chick when I was moving hard. I was making good money. And I got me a place at the Firebird, and I was living there. And I met this chick that she was into down, and so she convinced me to start selling down. And I sold down and gave her free down all the time. She was living with me for free, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and then I got frustrated with just giving her free drugs all the time, and
Yeah.
my being fucked up, and just struggling, you know, getting people stealing from me, but not in a way that I could catch. You know what I mean? Like people being sneaky, um, just 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 tough shit, you know.
Yeah.
And so then I started getting into it, and then fucking I got just depressed because I couldn't see my son. And no matter what I did, I just like I knew a year before that I should stay away from her. I tried to get away from her, and I live with my boys, whatever, and she called them up and convinced them that she was in love with me and that she wanted me back home. That I needed to go back home.
Mhm.
So I moved back in with her, and then fucking come to find out, she finally won. She finally set me up. Because I had left her. And it was fucked up. Then I went after getting out of jail. I was all fucked up in the head, you know. But I didn't know what to do. I started moving hard, then started moving down, then started doing down, and uh, getting really bad. I went to get clean, and I got clean, graduated from a program. I graduated from this program 3 times, and the last time I went into a sober house,
Mhm.
and then somebody hit me up at the sober house. This new guy came up to me and was like, "Yo, bro, you know where I could get something?" And I used to move a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So I went and got hit up an old connect, and then I started thinking I could just do this a little bit, and made that mistake, and
Yeah.
and fucking got kicked out of the sober house. I was living with the chick that got me into it, um, and her husband, um, and then she
Husband. You said
started,
her husband? Wait, you
yeah,
was living with her and her husband?
yeah,
Oh
in
shit.
in a tent. And then like she started like this chick started to just get crazy, and now she left her husband, but not for me, like it was supposed to be. Um, she left him for some other dude. And um, I had pneumonia and a blood clot on my lung, and I ended up falling out on 7 days, right outside 7 days,
Wow.
because I had pneumonia and a blood clot on my lung.
Yeah.
And, I just was so sick, like, and I didn't even know it though. And I just was like sitting down. I knew I didn't feel right. I was just really tired. And my ribs hurt. Like I gotten like kicked in the ribs by a mule or something.
Yeah.
my, my ribs hurt. But I couldn't figure it out. And I went to sit down or whatever and just like passed out. Bang, hit the floor.
Wow.
The ambulance was called. When I went to the hospital, they find out that I have pneumonia and a blood clot on my lung. Um, so I stayed there for 3 weeks, and luckily, when I was there, I got into this place, this veterans housing,
Mm.
veterans transitional housing, and ever since then, I got my act together. I stopped talking to that chick. Fucking yeah, it's been straightening up
That's
my
good,
act.
bro.
Yep.
That's good, bro. Man, it was nice talking to you, dude.
It was good to talk to you too, my man. I know that was a long-winded.
Oh, bro, it was good, bro. Like people want to hear this shit, bro. People want to, like this is why I'm doing this, so people can tell their story to the world. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Because there's a lot of people that have stories that are, they have a chip on their shoulder, or and they want to let it out. So,
Yep.
and exactly why I'm doing this. So I appreciate talking to you, bro.
I appreciate you too, brother. And it's I know you knew that I was in the military or whatever, and I think you knew a little bit of my story, but not the whole
Yeah,
thing.
and I'm glad that I know, because I didn't know a lot about you, bro. And we, we was kicking it like
For a
crazy. Me,
while.
Justin, yeah, so
No.
I like, that's why I'm doing it, bro.
Yeah,
To
you're
know
good
more
people.
about people. You know what I mean? So
That's what's up, man. And I thank you.